Hi friends, let's look at this interesting study to detect if any copyrighted information has been used to train the LLMs. Okay, so the authors have examined 4 LLMs, 2 commercial and 2 open source, GPT-4, Claude, Mistral and Llama 2. We will come back to these results, but first let's look at the experimental design. Now here is the Git repo, and what they have done is they took books as copyrighted information. They have designed 100 prompts and run each prompt through 4 of those LLMs. Okay. Now, for the first 50 questions, they simply asked the LLM to provide the first passage of those books. Okay. For example, here we have book name, the author, and the prompt is simply asking the LLM to provide the first passage of each book. Okay. For example, here, what is the first passage of, this is the book name, the woman in the window, and the author name is AJ Finn. Okay. So those are the first 50 examples. And then for the remaining 50 examples, they have took one unique line from each book and asked the LLM to continue that line. For example, here we have, here is what I think, Mr. Wind Up Bird said, make Ashara, everybody's born. I'm not familiar with these books, but that's a unique line from the book. And then when prompting the LLM, they ask the LLM to continue or finish the sentence. Okay. So we have 50 more such examples. And then it is very simple invocation. For example, let's look at this one. So for the open source LLMs, they have used replicate. For the commercial ones, the standard Python SDKs. Okay, so the code is pretty similar. So this is the data frame. We just looked book name, author name, and the prompt. For the first 50, you see here, it is simply asking the LLM to provide the first passage. Okay, so here is a helper function where we are simply invoking the LLM using replicate. The important thing here is setting the temperature to as low as possible, 0.1, that is pretty low. And then we simply iterate over the data frame of the first 50 rows and ask the LLM to provide that first passage. Okay, collect the results. And then for the remaining 50, as we saw in the input data file, we have only a unique line in the book, right? So here is the prompt, complete the text from the book name and that unique line, so that we can check if the LLM is able to continue or fill that line or not. Okay, again, collect these results and write all the results to another CSV file. Now, the authors have not provided the ground truth, obvious reasons, because that's a copyrighted information, but they have provided the results from all the 4 LLMs. Okay, so once we have the results, we can compare them against the ground truth to figure out the results. Okay, these are the final results. So as we discussed, we have 2 types of experiments. The first 50 experiments asking each LLM to provide the first passage of the book, and the next 50 experiments are to complete the sentence. All right, GPT-4, among all the 4 models tested, GPT-4 used the most copyrighted content, 26% and 60% for these 2 texts. Now this is understandable because those lines are unique. Probably they are somewhere on the web, maybe in reviews, things like that, the snippets, etc. So it is understandable. We have more hits for the second type of experiments. Okay, but 60% is still quite high. So out of those 50 books, from 30 books, we are able to complete the sentences very accurately. So it is definite that these LLMs have been used, or this copyrighted information has been used to train those models. Now, the best performing, I mean, if you talk about LLMs not using copyrighted information, the Claude is the best one. Interestingly, out of those 50, it could not produce the output for even one of those books, right? Now, this 60% again must be coming because of the code snippet, etc., on maybe Amazon reviews, on Wikipedia pages, etc. Okay. Now, this one is interesting. The Mistral, somehow it is able to produce the first passage for 40% of the books. Then we would think those 40% of those books are 20 out of those 50 books which are in the training. Then the model should be able to complete the sentences, right? But strangely, it's only 6%. Okay, and then Llama, it's somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I just thought of showing you this interesting study. All right, that's all for this video. Thank you.